Now, Speaker of Parliament Alban Bagbin has ordered a parliamentary probe into the Akosombo Dam spillage that has left thousands of residents in at least 6 regions displaced and properties running into millions of cedis destroyed. A section of the public have criticized the Volta River Authority, which undertook the spillage, for not sensitizing the affected communities enough. Parliamentary Affairs correspondent Kweku Asante reports.
Parliament had been on recess all this period whilst several communities had been taken over by the floods caused by the spillage of the Akosombo Dam. Whilst the human suffering in these communities continue, Parliament is now set to take some action on their behalf. Minority Leader Dr. Kiselato Forsen, in his welcome remarks, announced his side was going to file a private member's motion to demand a probe.
In the last few weeks, Mr. Speaker, we have witnessed arguably the biggest man-made disaster to ever befall our nation. I am referring to the devastation caused by the spillage of the Akosombo Dam by the Volta River Authority. Mr. Speaker, as Minority Caucus, our hearts bleed for all the victims of this man-made disaster, which has rendered several thousands of people homeless and swept away farms, destroyed livelihood of many people in parts of Oti region, Volta region, Eastern region, Greater Accra region, Bono East, Savannah, and Northern regions. Mr. Speaker, the affected communities and regions have yet to recover from the aftermath of this disaster. The conduct of both the government and the Volta River Authority in terms of leading a coordinated emergency response and disaster relief effort leaves much to be desired. Right Honourable Speaker, I conclude by saying that we hereby serve notice that we will present a motion to demand a parliamentary inquiry into the circumstances that led to a man-made disaster of such magnitude.
The Majority Leader of Seiche Mensah-Bonsu focused on the politicization of the floods, but insisted the VRA must be brought before MPs to answer questions.
The House may have to invite the VRA to brief us on the situation relating to the spillage and all other connected matters. Mr. Speaker, I believe the Minister responsible for water resources and indeed energy as well. It is scary, Mr. Speaker, the extent some Ghanaians, including some MPs, go to politicize every single event in this country. As MPs, one of our core responsibilities is to inform and by that educate the citizenry.
Speaker of Parliament Alban Bagbin has now ordered that the House conducts an inquiry into the floods and the VRA's actions.
It is unacceptable that an activity as potentially destructive as dam spillage was done without a well thought through security and safety preparedness plan. As such, Parliament will take the necessary action to inquire into the matter and make recommendations for the protection of property and lives living along the Volta River and Lake and other settlements along riverbeds. Honourable members, this is a national assignment, and Parliament should be seen to be leading in finding solutions to this somehow perennial problem confronting the nation.
It is not clear which form exactly this probe that has been ordered by the Speaker will take, but it will normally come in 2 forms. Either a special committee will be constituted with members from either side of the House to look into these matters, or an existing standing committee will be asked to look into these matters. But of course, it must be put on record that the NDC MPs have had some strong words for the Volta River Authority, which they say have spearheaded this man-made disaster in the Volta region. But one thing that has stood out in this matter on the floor of the House is that both sides have spoken about the need for government and other individuals to move in to restore life to normalcy. Reporting for JoyNews, Kweku Asante, Parliament House, Accra.
By the Member of Parliament for North Tongue, Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa, who has been calling for this probe for some time now. Grateful to you for joining us. What's your expectation of this probe?
My expectation is that this probe will be thorough. It will be very diligently done. It will be impartial. It will be objective. It will delve into all the matters and bring out the facts. Clearly, in my mind, there has been negligence. A lot is amiss. We were not informed about this village. We have been taken by surprise. It has led to so much destruction, so much ruin, so much devastation. And the consequences have been really telling. It's virtually destroyed our community, it's destroyed life, livelihood, and it's important that those who have engaged in this negligent conduct
well, since you've been calling for this for some time, what do you think must be the focus of the probe itself?
The focus must be, how did we get here? How is it that of all the spilling that has happened, 1968, being 2010, this is the only time we are seeing this level of management, this level of 2010.
It looks like we're having a problem hearing you. If you can reposition yourself for me, I'll be grateful.
Yeah, hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Yeah, so the question that I've been asking, many people have been asking, is that why is it that we didn't see this level of destruction, this level of devastation in 2010, the last time there was a spillage on this scale? Why is it that previous spilling was managed better, community engagements were carried out, it was done gradually, it was well planned? How come this one just, sprung up upon us? People waited for the last hour and actually engaged in this negligent conduct, which has left so many homes destroyed, so many properties destroyed, livelihoods destroyed. So clearly, a lot is amiss. A lot has gone wrong, and that's where we must start from.
Are you suspecting that there was a foul play somewhere, or it's a case of someone not doing his or her job well?
Look, clearly, people were sleeping on the job. Clearly, people missed important milestones. Clearly, this was not managed properly. Look, even as Member of Parliament for the area, we believe that nobody engaged me. Nobody from VRA. I mean, as the Speaker said today, spilling on this scale, at this magnitude, it's a national security matter. Or is the government saying they didn't know about it, cabinet didn't discuss it, there was no presidential approval, and that the whole government was taken by surprise, and that we couldn't have a national conversation, you in the media not be brought up to speed so that there will be education? We couldn't even make arrangements for relocation so that we move people to higher ground before the village so that people can salvage their properties. Are we saying that we couldn't even prepare decent housing? As I speak to you, more than 12,000 of my constituents are living in classrooms. Classrooms, can you believe that? Without washrooms, without mattresses, without kitchen. I mean, why can we be so cruel? And the whole preparedness, the entire arrangement has been so shambolic, so abysmal, that people must be made to answer serious questions. And I'm glad that we are going to have this probe. Look, as I speak to you, nothing has been heard about resettlement. How long are people going to be living in classrooms? And how long are children going to be kept away from schooling? When going to be writing the same B, C, what? How long are people going to be living in this institutional condition? Why is nobody talking about resettlement? Why is VRA not talking about compensation? Why? I mean, so these are the matters that the probe has addressed.
Okay, grateful to you, but you might want to stay on for me because the waste management company Zoomlion Ghana Limited is denying media reports suggesting its ongoing fumigation and disinfection exercise is in flood-affected areas in Mepe is being paid for by the Waiver Authority. The fumigation and disinfection exercise commenced on Sunday, October 29, 2023, as floodwaters began receding in some affected communities in Mepe in the North Tongue district of the Water region. This is what the VRA's Emergency Preparedness Coordinator, Engineer Kwame Osei-Mensah-Darkwa, told JoyNews on Sunday at the commencement of the fumigation exercise.
The water in terms of the spill has receded significantly, and most of the areas are very dry. In fact, you can actually walk through them and inspect some specific houses. So we did a quick recce together with the assembly, with the traditional council, with the health inspector of the assembly, then realized that most of the places were dry and people had started going back to stay in their respective residence. And so VRA has decided to start decontamination exercise so that those who go there will live in a safe environment and not be exposed to any health hazards. And so we intend to, as a matter of urgency, start the work with the Mepe area, where the extent of inundation was quite pronounced.
Well, but VRA itself is contradicting this claim in a statement released Tuesday. According to them, they have not contracted any company to undertake a fumigation exercise. Let's share with you details of this particular statement. Now, the statement says the attention of the management of the Volta River Authority has been drawn to a story in the electronic media that VRA has contracted Zoomlion to undertake fumigation of areas affected by the controlled spillage from the Akosombo Dam. We wish to state that VRA has not awarded any contract to Zoomlion for the fumigation of communities impacted by the controlled spillage. Now, the statement continues to say that the VRA acknowledges the assistance being offered by institutions, companies, groups, and individuals, and will continue to work with all stakeholders in our relief efforts for communities impacted by the controlled spillage from the Akosombo Dam. Now, Zoomlion has buttressed this point, saying the exercise is free of charge. The exercise, this was contained in a statement released on Tuesday as well. Now, the statement from Zoomlion says the attention of the management of Zoomlion Ghana Limited has been drawn to a report on social media dubbed Ibrahim Mahammad, Zoomlion and Serious Questions for VRA, which story seeks to suggest that Zoomlion Ghana Limited has been contracted by the Volta River Authority to undertake fumigation of the lower Volta areas affected by the recent controlled spillage from the Akosombo Dam. The statement continues to say that they want to emphasize that Zoomlion has not been contracted by VRA to undertake any fumigation activities in the said affected areas. Now, they continue to say that on Monday, 23rd October 2023, Zoomlion Ghana Limited, led by 8 executives and management, presented a number of relief items worth over 500,000 cedis to the victims of the spillage. Now, the statement continues to say that additionally, a sister company, EcoZoil, also donated almost 500 life jackets to the media and rescue team supporting the situation on the ground. At the same presentation event, the company, in addition to the items presented, announced its intention to also fumigate the areas once the water had receded. We remain unwavering in our commitment to upholding our corporate social responsibility and providing steadfast support to the communities in the Volta region and in other way to our mother Ghana, despite the unwarranted distractions caused by such baseless accusations. We want to reassure all stakeholders that our dedication to serving and uplifting communities remains resolute, and we will continue to prioritize the well-being and support of those in need, irrespective of such false allegations. So that's the statement from Zoomlion there. Now, moving on. Parliament has been asked to consider a new instrument which creates a new constituency for the SAL areas. Now, the constituency, which will be known as the Guan constituency, is to rectify the constitutional anomaly that left thousands of residents in the area without representation in Parliament. The EC's action is not allowing residents in Seoul to vote in the parliamentary election in 2020 has been roundly condemned. The new instrument has been laid and has been referred to the Subsidiary Legislation Committee by the Speaker.
Out of 958 delegates,
Honorable members, the Representation of the People Parliamentary Constituencies Amendment Instrument 2023 is referred to the Committee on Subsidiary Legislation for consideration and report to the House. This is the instrument that is likely to save this House and forgive us for the cardinal sin that we are said to have committed. It deals with the issue of the SAP, and a number of them have now come up for consideration by the House.
JoyNews Prime Headlines is brought to you by...
Don't take risks. Use a condom every time.
And thanks to Malatu, I kicked out malaria one time.
Some spices, yes, sir.
But some people from Seoul areas had earlier gone to court to demand for the interpretation of the law. Now, they want Parliament to suspend this LI until the court rules on the matter. Co-chair of the Joint Steering Committee of the Akpafu and Lolobi traditional areas, Dr. Joe Adai, joins us now for some more. Doc, I'm grateful to you for joining us here. Now, isn't this exactly what you were looking for? That you will get a representation in Parliament, and for that matter, a constituency to be created for you?
Thank you for having me online or on your network, and good evening to your cherished viewers or listeners. I don't know on which platform I'm speaking. And to make things easier for our listeners or viewers, I want to recall that on 24th of June 2020, there was this CI which established the Hokwe constituency, that is CI 95. And there were challenges on that CI. So the Supreme Court ruled that the EC should take steps to amend the CI 95 to come in conformity with the with the OT instrument. So the the EC laid the CI 128 to amend the 95, the CI 95. But unfortunately, the CI 95, the 128 that was laid to correct the 95, was not gazetted on the day that it was laid in Parliament. Under our Constitution, Article 11.7 says that anything that becomes law in Ghana should be laid before Parliament and gazetted the same day. So what we were saying is that, yes, the CI 128 doesn't exist. And I recall that on the 5th of January 2021, when the Attorney General issued a certiorari to quash the demands of the then NDC candidate and some other aggrieved, constituents, the issue came to the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court, in its ruling, we have the ruling here, that is on page 20, with your indulgence. I cannot read word for it because I don't have it in front of me. They were saying that we didn't invoke the jurisdiction of the Supreme Court to rule on the validity of the CI 128. And mind you, what is before Parliament today, there are two issues. One, seeking to create the Guan constituency, and the second one is to use the back door to amend the CI 128, which we have contested that it is not a law. Because you can refer to the Supreme Court ruling, page 20, which was chaired by, Justice Apa. And he challenges that if we have any problem with the CI 128, we should go back to the High Court and challenge that order. And since 2021, we have been at the whole High Court, and the arguments have come to and fro, and then it has become very clear that the CI 128 is under contention. And if you recall, on the 16th
So are you saying that until that judgment is passed, Parliament must not consider the new instrument that is laid before it?
I'm not saying that. If you allow me to explain, what has happened is that...
But you need to try and summarize it for us so that we can understand.
I am telling you that there is a case before a competent court of jurisdiction.
Okay.
And they are to rule on this case coming Thursday. That is on the 2nd. And if you recall, we went to the whole High Court and demanded that the EC and the others must come to court for summary judgment. And the judgment is supposed to come on this Thursday. Then EC turns around wanting to use the back door and throw light and throw dust into the eyes of Ghanaians and the Parliament.
Okay.
Yes. So once I don't think the EC had powers over a court of competent jurisdiction.
Okay.
So all that we are saying is that the EC and Parliament must allow the rule of law to work. You understand?
Okay, I get it.
And once that is determined, then they would know our fate.
Okay.
Because
thank you so much. Thank you. I think your point is well made. I'm grateful to you for joining us here. Now,
there is an illegality, so I don't think Parliament should hide under an illegality and try to create a constitutional crisis for this country.
Okay.
That is exactly what we are striving at.
Thank you, sir, for joining us here. Now, moving on to other stories. Flag bearer, aspirant of the governing New Patriotic Party, Dr. Owusu Afriyie says he is capable of breaking the 8 for the MPP in the 2024 elections. Over 2,000 delegates of the MPP will on Saturday elect the party presidential candidate for the next election. He is, however, warning any attempt to subvert the will of the people will be disastrous for the party. Alton Brobe report.
Out of 958 delegates, Dr. Owusu Afriyie pulled 36 votes in the Super Delegates Conference in August, enough to secure him a seat among the table of 5. According to him, he went into the election hoping to make the first 5.
So our strategy was to make sure that we are in the 5, and we are in the 5. And this coming forth is a totally different ballgame altogether, because you are talking about 20 times
the number.
Yes.
So how do you respond to those who say that this clearly is a reflection of what is to come?
Oh, well, I think it's a misjudgment.
But why do you think that it can change?
Because the delegates down there are totally different from their leadership. Their leadership have disappointed them. I'm very confident that those down there who have suffered so much for this party will take the right decision. And that right decision is to choose Owusu Afriyie as their flag bearer.
But after engaging more than half of the 900 super delegates, he was shocked that only 36 voted for him.
Fear the delegates, yes, and that's true. But the thing is that for me, talking to out of the 958 who voted, at least I can say that I spoke directly to more than half of them, to convince, to sell my vision for the party and for the country. And I was very sure that at the end of it, they bought into my vision. At the end of the day, it didn't happen. It didn't happen. So Owusu Afriyie was right, that you fear delegates. But in the case of the 220,000 delegates, I don't think I've interacted with even 10% of them. Except that you rely on the structures that you build to get your message to them.
But the insincerity of the delegates is not his only concern. The former Food and Agriculture Minister tells me the entire process was skewed in favor of one candidate.
The reasons given by Mr. Trematine for quitting the contest to start with before coming out to say that he's no longer with the party, those are very solid ones, and I'm very sympathetic to those. See, the implication of all this is the unity of this party. If we are not seen to be having a level playing field, after 4th November, it's going to be very difficult to unite the party against the NDC. And for me, that is my worry. Because if people feel that they have not been fairly treated, how do you expect them to cooperate with the party after the contest when they feel that they haven't been treated well?
For 8 years between 2009 and 2016, Dr. Afriyie served as a Member of Parliament for Kwadaso in the Ashanti region. He was made Food and Agriculture Minister when the MPP won power in 2016. During his 6-year tenure, he spearheaded a government flagship program planning for food and jobs. The son of the late Asantehene linguist Bafo Akoto is counting on his strong roots in the Ashanti region to prepare him to victory. But he faces challenges there because the regional chairman, Bernard Nchibo, also known as Chairman Wontumim, has thrown his weight behind the Vice President, Dr. Mahammad B.
The delegates down there have no respect for the conduct of the regional chairman. And his impression that he creates that he is in charge of the delegates will be proven on the 4th of November. Whether the kind of percentage that his candidate got will be repeated down there is still something that we have to wait for. But I'm confident that the message I've given to the people of Ashanti and to the rest of this country, the delegates know that this is the man.
Dr. Afriyie is hoping victory this weekend will help him reform the party and make it battle ready to win the upcoming 2024 general elections. This, he noted, would also enable him to have the mandate to pursue sustainable policies that are aimed at renewing the hope and confidence of the MPP fraternity.
We want to bring fundamental reforms into the MPP. We are not in a good place, and I'm the first to admit. And also the way the party is managed. We have rules and regulations which say that if you are a party official, you don't define or come out to say that you are supporting this person or that person. And look at what is happening. The whole government, the whole parliament, the whole party, most of the party, people, managers and so on, have come out openly to say that they support one person. And it goes against the rules. So that alone should tell you that there's something wrong with our party. And for me, I'm very unhappy.
For those who have worked closely with him, he is the best man for the job. Peter Otendakon is a close confidant.
I would describe Dr. Akoto as a go-getter, somebody whose words are sacred. If Dr. Akoto says this, take it as a contract. He means every word that he says. And Dr. Akoto is a very serious person. He's somebody who is an authority. If he says, let's deliver this, he will ensure that you deliver to the latter. That is Dr. Akoto.
Elton Brobe for Joy News.
Now, a group of NPA delegates outside Ghana has declared their support for Dr. Mahammad B ahead of the party's November 4 presidential primary. The delegates who have traveled back to Ghana to participate in the electoral process say the vice president represents their choice of candidate to lead the party in breaking the 8. At a press conference held in Kumasi, the group pleaded with over 200,000 delegates nationwide to vote for the vice president on Saturday, November 4. There is more in the following report.
As the governing New Patriotic Party goes to the polls to elect a flag bearer on November 4th, some delegates across the country and abroad have declared their support for Dr. Mahammad B. The group, calling itself Diaspora for Bawumia, says it believes in the vision of the vice president with confidence to lead the MPP into a historic victory on December 7th, 2024.
Dr. Mahammad B on his campaign journey has shown competence, tolerance and experience. He has shown that he is the one to unite the party. The leadership have made a statement, and all of us, we back all the leadership. Grassroots are solidly behind Dr. Mahammad B, who stands for unity. And we believe that when he wins, MPP, we are all coming together as one party with one body, and we are going to win come November 4th.
Chairman of the group, Kingsley Ahenkwa Dudu, says the endorsement for Dr. B is based on his contribution to the party.
We have seen the global economic hardship in all global, in US, UK, and all the external branches. We are in here to speak to that and also to assure Ghanaians that the NPP government is the only government to bring back our economy. And we can do this by voting massively for Dr. Mahammad B come November 4th. We are here to appeal to all delegates, both home and abroad, to vote massively for Dr. Mahammad Bawumia, we want to make a statement. We are looking at 90% now. We want to make an acclamation for Dr. Mahammad Bawumia.
Mr. Jude believes Dr. Bawumia can help the party win the crucial 2024 general elections.
We are in to support Dr. Mahammad Bawumia because we believe that Dr. Mahammad Bawumia is the only person to change the economic challenges that we are currently facing. And NPP, grassroots, both home and abroad, we are all solidly behind him. We want to make a statement, and we will all rally behind him come 2024 general election. We are about to make another statement. We see this to be an acclamation. We are united with one voice, and we are going in for Dr. Mahammad Bawumia. In fact, this is not a situation of peer delegates. The grassroots, we are solidly behind him, and we are winning massively come November 4th.
For Joy News, Nana Bwachidankwe Kumasi.
Yes, so watching Joy News Prime. We'll take a break. We'll be back with more. Kindly stay. Welcome back from the break. Now, the Christian Council of Ghana is condemning the robbery and kidnapping of a deacon at the Johannesburg branch of the Church of Pentecost. The video of the incident, which has since gone viral, depicts gun-wielding men attacking the church and making away with an unspecified amount of money believed to be the church's donation. Ghana's High Commission in Pretoria, South Africa, says it is working with the Church of Pentecost and the South African Police Service to ensure the speedy and safe release and return of a deacon who was kidnapped on Sunday. Chairman of the Christian Council of Ghana, Bishop Hilliard Dela Dogbe, says the incident is unfortunate and has since placed the Christian community on the edge.
It's a sad situation and a very unfortunate one, coming all the way from South Africa, where it appears as if the church is under siege. We know that it's not something against just foreigners. We've heard of all of these issues from South Africa, and it's something that we've all been concerned about. And happening in the way that it happened, that people were robbed and all that kidnapped, is one which was utmost concern for all of us. We commiserate with the Church of Pentecost in this situation, and we believe that it's not an issue for just the Church of Pentecost, but the entire Christian community of Ghana. So we are all praying along, and we read a statement from the government also, and we're willing to work with them in any way that we can to make sure that the elder is found to reunite with his family.
But do you think government intervention is enough?
Well, the government has assured us that they are working at a diplomatic level. I currently do not have any details of the nature of the diplomacy that they are working on and the nature of the relationships that they're trying to foster on to find this person. So I've reached out to the chairman of the Church of Pentecost, and I know that he's also working with the government in that regard.
But in terms of intervention, did he give you a sense of what the church is also doing in order to ensure that this elder who has been kidnapped is brought back home safely?
Well, they're working seriously with the government, and I know of that for sure, that they're working with the government. As to the fine details of it, I'm not aware, but I know they're working with them. As they reach out to the people in South Africa, also the government and the mission in South Africa seriously find it.
Now, the Church of Pentecost has declared a 3-day prayer sessions for the kidnapped deacon. This was contained in a press statement released a while ago. Now, the statement says, so Peter was kept in prison, but the church was earnestly praying to God for him. That's Act 12:5. Calvary greetings in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ. During a church service in Johannesburg, South Africa on Sunday, October 29, 2023, armed robbers attacked the congregants whilst the service was ongoing. The statement continues to say that, unfortunately, our national deacon was kidnapped in the attack. The church is currently collaborating with Ghana's High Commission in South Africa and as well as with the South African authorities to secure the release of our brother. In the meantime, the church will embark on a 3-day prayer and fasting session from October 31st to November 2, 2023 for the health and release of our brother. During the period, we will also be interceding for global peace with particular emphasis on the ongoing conflict in Gaza and Ukraine. Meanwhile, Ghana's reciprocal visa waiver agreement is setting into motion in the next 24 hours. Given this latest memorandum of understanding, Ghana and South Africans both have the opportunity to travel to each other's country for up to 90 days within a year. As the visa waiver agreement kicks off tomorrow, Blessing Soga caught up with Ghana's ambassador at large and special advisor to the Minister for Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration, Kwabena Osei Dankwa. He tells him that the agreement is in respect of fulfilling Ghana's African Union's protocol on the free movement of people.
It would work because, you know, both states, both governments are invested in it. This is something that has been worked on for some time, and there's enthusiasm for it. I tell you, one of the reasons why it was possible, apart from the fact that we maintain the highest possible relationship with South Africa, is that, and from what I hear, in South Africa, for instance, the reason why other African countries do not have this facility and we do, is that there is a perception of Ghanaians which is positive. You know, whether it's our business people, whether it's our professionals, whether it's our citizens going there, the way they have conducted themselves has been very helpful.
Now, a quest to find a job in Ghana fails, but Abiola Tohib Abiodun is not one who allows incidences of life to weigh him down. He quickly picks up from that disappointment, stirs up his desire pot, and finds another handy work doing so he doesn't become a burden on anyone. That's the story Hannah Odame narrating today's series of Hope.
I said charger, earpiece, cover, protector, headset, different kind of accessory.
Abiola Tohib Abiodun is a father of 3. He's been pushing this cart for over 5 years. He didn't start the business this way though.
I didn't know anything about the business. It was some of my friends that introduced me to the business. And I start with how much? I start with 100 cedi as at that time. I start with like small earpiece and charger. That time I used to carry around. But I thank God today that everything is my own, it's my business. So, and every day I go out, at least I'm making something out of it. So I have joy with what I'm doing.
An origin of Ibadan in the Oyo state of Nigeria, the Polytechnic graduate narrates why he migrated to Ghana.
Oh, I just came here to Owusu, at least as a man. The world has become a global village. If you are in somewhere and you don't have peace, or you see how the situation of the place are going, you need to move as a man. That's why I came here.
When his quest to find a job as an aluminium fabricator in Ghana did not materialize, Abiola found selling phone accessories as the best option to survival.
My plan is that if I will apply for company to continue the aluminium work. So and as I came here, I applied for some company, so they didn't take me. So that's why I started this one.
Narrating his daily routine, Abiola was hopeful he will soon open his own shop.
Sometimes I close around 11:30 in the night. So and I go to the market maybe sometimes around 2:30. That's how I start. I can continue with this forever because this one is a business. For year two, if I get shop, I'm planning to rent shop for Newtown. If I get shop, I will make it in a big way, and I'll start from there.
Guided by his philosophy of life, Abiola says he's not for once regretted any step that he's taken in ensuring his wife and children are well taken care of.
I'm not feel disappointment, because as a man, you need to be growing every day. So as I start this one, I'm even happy that I get something that I'm doing here. So as I start from that, I never regret for one day. Because I thank God that I start this one as at that time, and this business has helped me a lot. It helped me a lot as at that time. So gradually, now I get where they say, just sometimes I just move around small and I pack for them and sell. Till the evening time I go close.
And he does well to spend the money from his hustle with his family.
Because I make them happy. Sometimes if I close, I'm going out. I used to buy something for them. Sometimes we go to Labadi Beach, sometimes if I get money, sometimes we go to Bola Beach. Sometimes I take them to Medina for airport side. So sometimes we used to go out like that to go and enjoy ourselves.
Abiola believes self-determination should be embraced by the youth, most especially as they pursue their goals in life.
As a man or woman, you need to hustle for yourself. And the thing I see for it is that you need to believe in yourself, whatever you are doing. You need to continue doing what you know to do more. Because the time I start, it's been tough. The time I start, it is very tough somehow. But I continue the struggle. Sometimes it will be there somehow, but I continue. But the thing I believe is that one day God will help me. But now He helped me because I thank God that I have something that I'm doing. If you come here, you can't just day street be roaming about. You need to find something to do as a man. Don't follow people, because the time I came here, I saw many people, they are doing another thing. But for my mind, I make my mind say, I won't put my hand for any bad thing. So I just face what I'm doing. So this is where I am today.
Abiola go back to settle in Nigeria.
The aluminium work is my handwork while I learn. It's good, but this one too is a business. I still learn this one because even if I leave this one, I go back, I can still start this business for Nigeria. So it's like I see another opportunity. If I don't want to do the aluminium work again, I have another thing that I believe I can still do.
Hannah Odami for Joy News.
It's not what they are saying. I'm not here to respond. I'm here for my way, but I just feel like me and my husband